to a new video of Croissant 83. Today we'll be reacting to this guy called Baseplate. This guy here, it's Baseplate, which you can also say, and he has a lot of shorts that I'm guessing he's a Roblox animator. Well, that animates Roblox characters, and like I can kind of see the vibes that it's giving. But let's first watch some videos from him. Okay, so this one is called The Hat Man, and let's watch the first couple ones.
Imagine waking up completely paralyzed, only to realize a dark figure is staring at you from the corner of your room. It's called sleep paralysis. Your brain wakes up, but your body stays locked in sleep mode, meaning you literally can't move a single muscle. Panic sets in, your chest gets heavy, and your mind starts projecting nightmares straight into reality. But here is the truly terrifying part. People all over the world who have never even met report seeing the exact same entity. They call him the Hat Man. He's a pitch black silhouette wearing a trench coat and a wide-brimmed hat, just standing there watching you while you are utterly defenseless. Scientists claim it's just a primal fear response, our brains desperately trying to make sense of the dark by inventing a human shape. But if it's just a random hallucination, how is everyone's brain generating the exact same guy? Imagine waking up complete
facts though. I've had that before, and I know I'm not lying.
Paralyzed, only to realize
I've had that before. But I'm not even kidding. I've had this before where it happened, and I was like stuck. I couldn't even. I don't really remember what exactly happened, but I did saw that figure that it's talking about.
At you from the corner of your room. It's called
Anyway.
What If You Could Never Fall Asleep Again? It sounds like a horror movie, but it's a terrifying reality called fatal familial insomnia, also known as the sleep curse. Imagine hitting your mid-50s and one day you just can't sleep. You try heavy sleeping pills, but nothing works. The sleep switch in your brain is permanently broken. You are forced to stay awake for months on end. Your brain literally cannot shut off. Slowly, the extreme exhaustion takes over. You start intensely hallucinating and completely lose your mind until your body just gives up and shuts down. But here is the absolute scariest part about this disease. If you have the gene, there is zero cure. And worse, there are no early warning signs. You won't even know you carry it until the exact moment it activates. It's basically a ticking time bomb inside of you, waiting to wake you up for the very last time. What if you could never fall asleep again?
Oh. I've actually never heard of that, and I don't think I have that because I can't sleep. Like, I can sleep, not I can't.
Sounds like a horror movie, but it's a terrifying reality.
Okay.
Imagine someone builds a time machine using Einstein's theory of relativity. It's history's greatest invention, so they travel back to 1905 to thank the genius himself. They find a 26-year-old Einstein in Zurich and explain how his groundbreaking work made time travel possible. But Einstein has absolutely no idea what they're talking about. So the traveler sits him down and explains how the universe is a fabric of space and time, and that the faster you move through space, the slower you move through time. Once the traveler leaves, Einstein frantically writes it all down and publishes the theory as his own. His work revolutionizes our understanding of the universe. Then, centuries later, some kid learns about it, builds a time machine, and goes back to tell Einstein. If the traveler learned the theory from Einstein, and Einstein got it from the traveler, who actually came up with the idea in the first place? Imagine someone builds a...
Oh, wait, now if I think about it, he is kind of telling the truth, like, but that is something. So this guy, I know who this guy is now. So he basically, like, does things like this. Okay, so...
Your phone is currently rewiring your brain, and there is a terrifying side effect. Have you ever felt your phone buzz in your pocket, but when you check, there are zero notifications? You aren't crazy. It's called phantom vibration syndrome. Because we are so addicted to our screens, our brains have become overly cautious, constantly waiting for the next alert. We've actually trained our bodies to anticipate that buzz. So now, your brain actively misinterprets completely normal things, like a tiny muscle twitch or your jeans rubbing against your leg, as a notification. You are basically hallucinating physical touch. But here is how you fix it. You have to break the habit loop. Start keeping your phone in a different pocket. Turn off vibration completely, or leave it out of reach for a few hours. If you don't reset your brain now, you'll be feeling ghost texts forever. Your phone is currently rewiring your brain, and there is a terrifying side effect. Have you ever felt your phone
at the end? Get out. Anyway, let's watch the next video.
Buzz in your... If you are ever in a familiar place and it is completely silent, your brain thinks you are about to die. Ever walked into an empty indoor pool or a deserted playground and felt an instant wave of panic? It feels straight up creepy, like you shouldn't be there. But you aren't just being paranoid. This is a deep survival instinct. Thousands of years ago, humans relied on background noise to know they were safe. Birds chirping or leaves moving meant everything was fine. But if the forest suddenly went dead silent, it meant a dangerous predator was hiding nearby. Today, your DNA still has that exact same alarm system. When you stand in a place that should be full of loud, screaming kids, but instead it's completely silent, your brain hits the panic button. It just assumes the absolute worst. Whatever scared everyone else away is still out there with you right now. If you are ever in a familiar...
Makes sense. Honestly, I would believe that because I never stay in places alone anyway. Like, to be unfair. Like, if I see a train is completely empty, why would I go in there? Like, okay, some humans inside, but fully empty and I am the only one inside? No, I'm not staying there, right?
Place, and you might be living an entire fake life right now. There's a famous story of a guy who got knocked out, and what happened next is terrifying. He didn't just have a normal dream. His brain created a full 10-year life. He met a woman, got married, had kids, and felt every single day pass normally. But one day, he noticed a lamp in his living room. It looked completely wrong. It was flat and fuzzy, almost like a glitch. He got obsessed. He sat on a chair staring at this lamp for 3 straight days. His wife was crying, begging him to snap out of it, but he couldn't look away. Suddenly, the lamp grew larger until his entire world completely shattered. He woke up on the floor. Only a few minutes had actually passed. He had to spend years mourning a wife and kids that never even existed. If your brain can fake a perfect 10-year life in just 5 minutes, how do you know the room you're sitting in right now is real? You might be living in...
Honestly, I don't know. Now that you're telling me this, I basically don't know. You're pretty smart. Okay. Let's watch the next
If you
one.
play a video game for too long, your brain will literally start to rewrite reality. It's a psychological glitch called the Tetris effect. When you grind a game like Roblox for hours, you log off, close your eyes, and still see the game in the dark. You look at a real-life staircase and your brain instantly calculates it like an obby, measuring if you can make the jump. The science behind this is crazy. To make you better at playing, your brain physically wires brand new neural connections. But it gets so used to the digital world, it forgets to turn game mode off when you put the screen down. But here is the ultimate plot twist. Scientists are now using this exact glitch to heal people. They found that playing highly visual games right after a bad experience blocks your brain from saving traumatic memories because it's too busy processing the game. You aren't just playing, you're literally hacking your own mind. If you play a video game there is a terrifying brain glitch that turns your own family into complete strangers. It's called Capgras syndrome, and it's heartbreaking. Imagine waking up and your mom walks in. You recognize her exact face and voice, but the emotional wire in your brain has completely snapped. Normally, seeing family give you a warm, safe feeling, but with this glitch, you feel absolutely nothing. Since your brain hates confusion, it makes up a dark excuse to explain the missing emotion. It tells you, that's not your mom. That is an imposter. Bro, imagine how lonely that is. You're trapped with people who look exactly like your family, but you're dead convinced they are clones who stole their faces. You didn't lose your memory, you just lost the ability to feel love. And the absolute saddest part, the harder your real family tries to comfort you, the more you think it's a trap. There is a terrifying...
Oh, that's really sad to people who have that. That would be kind of scary though. Can't even lie, that would be kind of scary. Well, yeah, I guess that can happen sometime. Let's go to the next video.
If you are ever in a burning building, your brain might literally force you to sit down and do nothing. It's a terrifying glitch called the normalcy bias. When a sudden disaster hits, 70% of people's brains completely freeze. Because you've never been in a massive fire before, your brain refuses to believe it's actually happening. Bro, you would literally sit in a cafe sipping coffee while the room fills with thick smoke, just waiting for someone else to panic first. Your mind blocks out the danger because it's too shocking to handle. So how do you snap out of it? You have to give your brain a head start. Whenever you walk into a new room, take 2 seconds to spot the exit. That tiny habit creates a mental shortcut. If disaster strikes, your mind won't freeze up. It already knows exactly where to run. Never just follow the calm crowd, because waiting for them could trap you forever. If you are ever in a burning building, your brain might literally...
Okay, that's really great to know. That's great to know. Honestly, I think that would kind of explain why there's a lot of people that kind of like died from these stuff. So, yeah.
There is a terrifying sleep glitch that proves you might not actually be awake right now. It's called a false awakening. Imagine you wake up, get out of bed, brush your teeth, and start your day. Everything feels completely normal. But then, boom, you suddenly wake up back in your bed. You never left. Your brain just created a fake copy of your morning to trick you into staying asleep. For some, this turns into an absolute nightmare. They get stuck in loops, waking up 5 to 10 times in a row, only to realize they are still dreaming. They are trapped inside their own heads, screaming to wake up, completely unable to tell if reality is real anymore. So how do you know you are actually awake right now? Look at a clock or try to read a book. The brain is terrible at creating letters and numbers while asleep. If the words blur together or look like weird alien symbols, you need to wake up. There is a terrifying sleep glitch that proves...
You need to wake up. Okay, well, that's also great to know.
Scientists have discovered the exact sound frequency that creates ghosts, and it proves the paranormal is actually just pure physics. There's a sound wave called infrasound, hovering right around 19 hertz. It's way too low for human ears to hear, but your body physically feels it. Everyday things like old fans, broken pipes, or heavy wind can naturally generate it. But here is where it gets crazy. When this frequency hits you, it vibrates your eyeballs at the exact rate that causes you to hallucinate. It forces you to see blurry gray blobs in your peripheral vision, the classic shadow figures people swear they see out of the corner of their eye. On top of that, the wave naturally triggers random, intense feelings of dread and panic. So the next time you feel a dark presence in an old building, you aren't in a haunted house. Your eyeballs are literally just vibrating. Scientists have discovered astronauts suffer from a condition that completely ruins their lives. It's called the overview effect, and it literally breaks their brains. When they go to space and look down at Earth, they don't see a massive world. They see a tiny, fragile blue ball floating in an endless, terrifying void of nothingness. In that exact second, reality fundamentally snaps. All the things we care about down here, borders, politics, money, or even just being embarrassed, suddenly seem incredibly stupid. You realize we are just fighting over invisible lines on a literal speck of dust. But here's the tragic part. When these astronauts finally come back, they can't unsee it. They are forced back into a society obsessed with pointless drama. Many return feeling completely isolated because they can no longer relate to normal human problems. They went to space as heroes, but came back feeling like aliens on their own planet. Astronauts suffer from a condition that completely ruins their lives.
But I can kind of tell I haven't been in those type of shoes before. I can say but I do kind of understand what it's talking about. You you're in space and you just see the Earth as a blue little speck, but all what happened on that Earth as a big space everywhere, it's really big than you actually expect. It kind of makes you feel stupid. Why did you argue about this when it's literally this small? Like, there's even other planets bigger than Earth, and that's what we know. So I can kind of see what this kind of mean. I think we're gonna watch 5 or 4 more videos before I end it.
If you are ever in danger, being in a massive crowd might actually get you killed. It sounds backward, but it's a terrifying reality called the bystander effect. If you get hurt in front of one person, they will almost always help you. But if you collapse in front of 50 people, nobody lifts a finger. Why? Because everyone's brain instantly assumes someone else will do it. The entire crowd thinks the exact same thing, so everyone just stands there, frozen. But there is a life-saving trick to break this weird trance. If you ever need help, never just yell into the air. Instead, single someone out, lock eyes, and point directly at them. Say, "You in the red shirt, call 911." By giving one specific person a direct command, you completely shatter the group illusion. You force them to take individual responsibility, snapping them into action. It's a simple trick, but knowing it could literally save your life. If you are ever in danger, being in a
I feel
massive...
I must remember that one. I'm gonna try my best to remember that, cause I feel like that would be necessary in life sometime. So yeah, and that's also great to hear. Amazing, and yeah, that's all I can say. Third video.
The real reason we haven't found aliens yet is actually terrifying. It's called the dark forest theory, and it completely changes how you look at the night sky. Imagine the entire universe is a pitch black forest. Every single alien civilization out there is a silent hunter, creeping through the trees with a loaded weapon. In this forest, survival is the only rule. If a hunter hears a twig snap, they don't walk over to say hello. They eliminate the source instantly to protect themselves. Now think about Earth. Bro, for decades we've been screaming into the void, blasting radio waves and broadcasting our exact coordinates to anyone listening. We are basically the idiot in the woods shouting with a flashlight. This theory means the universe isn't empty. It's actually packed with life, but everyone else is dead silent, hiding from something way worse. The real reason we haven't found aliens yet...
I wouldn't say hiding from something way worse, but I would believe probably staying silent or something, cause I haven't heard a lot of things coming out to space for a long time. I know they have found a lot of new black holes or those other stuffs, other planets that could have the potential of life on it, but that's for another day, not for today. Next.
Does it feel like 2020 was just yesterday? There is a terrifying reason why time seems to move faster the older you get. It's called the holiday paradox. Your brain literally measures time by the amount of new memories it creates. When you're a kid, everything is brand new. Learning to ride a bike, starting a new school, your brain saves these as dense, heavy memories, making those early years feel like an absolute eternity. But as you get older, life turns into a predictable loop. You wake up, work, and do the exact same routine every single day. Because your brain already knows what's going to happen, it just stops hitting record. It doesn't bother saving the repetition, meaning entire weeks literally delete themselves from your perception. That's why months just blur into nothing. If you want to slow down time, you have to break your routine. Otherwise, you're just fast-forwarding straight to the end. Does it feel like 2020?
I can kind of understand this because, I feel like it does happen to a lot of people. I think even everyone, I'm not too sure. But, yeah, I feel like this happens often. So... okay, next.
Scientists dug the deepest hole in human history, but they suddenly sealed it shut because of what they heard at the bottom. In 1989, Russia drilled the Kola Super Deep Borehole, a mind-bending 7.5 miles into the Earth. Down there, the pressure and heat were so insane that solid rock literally acted like plastic. Then it got terrifying. The crew lowered a microphone into the abyss and picked up something straight out of a nightmare. The audio sounded exactly like millions of voices screaming in pure agony. People were convinced they had literally drilled into hell. Skeptics tried to brush the screams off as an audio glitch, but even the scientists couldn't explain the bizarre technology tectonic screeching echoing up from the dark. Soon after, they welded a heavy iron cap over the hole and completely abandoned the site. Whatever is hiding 7 miles down, maybe some doors are meant to stay locked. Scientists dug the deepest hole in human history, but they suddenly sealed it.
To stay locked.
Lucid dreaming is the closest thing that any of us will ever have to superpowers. It lets you wake up inside your mind and fully control your dreams. But most people never experience it, or they wake up the second they realize it's happening. Here is the blueprint to hack your sleep tonight. First, set an alarm 5 hours into your sleep to interrupt your dream cycle. Stay awake for 30 minutes to make your brain active. Then go back to bed repeating, I will remember I'm dreaming. During the day, constantly ask yourself if you're dreaming. This trains your brain to do the exact same thing once you are in the dream world. Finally, keep a journal by your bed. The exact second you wake up, write down everything you remember to force your brain to recognize dream patterns. Master this, and sleep stops being random. You'll be stepping into a world where you make the rules. Lucid dream.
Okay, well, that'll be it for today, and peace out. Oh yeah, by the way, make sure to subscribe. Bye!
Is the closest thing that any of us will ever have to superpowers.